I'm Brian Anderson. Allie LaForce, our reporter. And certainly, on paper, this game is something of a mismatch, Doris.
Yes, it is, but it's always dangerous when one team is expected to win by a large margin. Because why? Human nature. Can't skip steps. These are still professional basketball players. That underdog can be a real dog.
At the line.
Boston shooting their initial free throws of the game here.
For 2 shots.
And so he makes both from the line. Grant, a big reason for Utah to be excited about the future. Their young head coach, Will Hardy.
Yeah, B.A. I mean, he's had this team competitive after trading away both Mitchell and Gobert. And I love how Hardy has developed guys like Lauri Markkanen.
Here's Collins. A good-looking shot from the wing.
And this is a part of Collins' game that's really evolved, hitting jumpers and catch and shoot. I just love the strong finish there inside.
Man, he's got that dunker's mindset, doesn't he? Always ready to pounce. Now here's Collins. Here's Kessler. And the sweet roll that time on the rim. That one falls.
Nice awareness there from the big man Collins. Solid at finding his teammates when they're open.
Pass to Cornette, who poked away. Stolen by Kessler. Here's Collier. Tatum with the block. Inside. And Collins with the big block.
You can't sleep on Collins' long arms when he's defending you. He'll swat you down all day with that long reach. Just taking it right to the rim, and no one was there to greet him.
And I think defensively, that is not the way you want to start. Giving up high percentage looks, that doesn't typically end well. Boy, this guy is a good finisher, so he misses a chippy. That's tough to take.
Pass to Collier. To the inside. Markkanen right side. Here's Collier. He's covered by Holiday. And there's a 3-second violation. Here are the Celtics with the ball. Here's Brown. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
Well, this is where the powerful frame and explosive athleticism of Jaylen Brown becomes a problem for the opponent. Nicely done.
Kessler, no good.
Boy, if you're going up against this guy in this close a range, you've got to defend with everything you've got. A tremendous job defensively.
Well, Doris, the 7-footer from Finland, Lauri Markkanen. What makes him so tough to stop?
Well, the size you mentioned, 7 foot. The sweet shooting that he provides has got tremendous range and accuracy from three-point territory. Can put it on the deck, is willing to mix it up on the glass. There's a lot to like. Good job attacking. Those restricted area shots are what every NBA team is looking for.
To the middle. To the paint. Markkanen looking it over. Pass to Kessler. Back to Collins. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Markkanen. And that one comes up a bit short. And Tatum's got the ball here for the Boston Celtics. Down low. Oh, and he blocks it off the glass. Wow. Outside Sexton. He takes it in. And it's good. Fought through contact. Hit the shot and will go to the line. Well, when you talk about the most underrated players in the league, Doris, Sexton has to be in the conversation.
Well, let's begin with the fact that he's an absolutely fearless scorer, a tough competitor, an improved facilitator. There's grit, determination. He's willing to get into you defensively. He is somebody that will compete on the defensive end. This guy is such a gifted offensive player. Jason Tatum, tough to handle off the dribble drive.
The Celtics with the lead. A big group substitution here for Utah.
Second team foul. Substitution on the court.
A minute 20 left in the first quarter of the game. Kornet with the bucket. Kornet's got 6.
When they get their opportunity to punch it inside, they don't hesitate.
And so Will Hardy calls for the timeout. He's going to gather the troops and talk it over. The Jazz making a switch here. Jazz trail by 3. Outside Sexton. Back to George. On the wing, Sexton. One minute left to play in the first. Fires from deep. Rebound Boston. White for 3. Good, and it's Horford who picks up the assist.
Assertive on the catch, but Derek White rising fire from three-point, and it is on target.
You don't want to stop the clock right there. I'm not quite sure what he was thinking.
That's good for Markkanen. And for a scorer as prolific as Markkanen, he doesn't need the ball in his hands too often.
So many of his scores come off assists. So just a great sense of when to get into space and become available.
Here's Pritchard. White, good. White's got his second basket of the game.
Well, the versatility he possesses makes him a very tough cover, guys.
George outside. Back to Markkanen. Baseline try. Second shot opportunity. And the shot's good.
Boy, he's got so much length that under duress, still able to finish. Go ahead, Lauri Markkanen.
Pass to Craig. Here's Pritchard. No points so far. Back to Craig. Count it.
Credit their discipline. They've been working for high percentage shots.
And so it's Boston closing out this quarter with a 7-point lead. And it's all due to their ability to own the paint. They've been dominant. And thanks again for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we've played through one quarter of action so far. All right, guys, what do you think so far on the offensive approach for the Celtics?
The way they just continue to drive right at the defense, they've really been overwhelming them when they do this.
Pass to Sensabaugh. Outside for Sexton. On the wing, Clarkson. George, right side. Clock at 6. Here's Sensabaugh. Free throw line jumper. That shot is off. Boston leading by 7. One thing you can say about Boston, Grant, they know how to put a team together.
Yeah, the Celtics' consistency of winning is just impressive, both now and throughout their entire history. They are really the gold standard in this league, and it's mostly because of great draft picks and great trades. The officials were right on top of that one.
Utah shooting their 4th and 5th attempts at the free throw line tonight. And he sinks the second. All right, Doris, you look at the criteria for traveling in the NBA. You think it's called often enough?
You know, BA, I'm not sure the answer to that. It's amazing to me the speed with which these officials have to make the calls. Sometimes you go back and watch it, what looks like a travel is not, or what's not called a travel is. This is actually a harder issue than people think.
George outside. Here's Sexton. Oh, and there's the whistle on the shot. So 2 free throws for him coming up. You know, Grant, looking at the career of Colin Sexton, he had a huge third season, averaged 24 a game.
Yeah, B.A. And unfortunately, Colin hurt his knee early during his 4th year. Had season-ending surgery, but we've seen Sexton make a full comeback and just a dynamic scoring guard. No debate there. He got hammered.
Doris, when we talk about home court advantages, the Jazz have amongst the best.
They do, BA. You have to play at altitude. They're also a little bit isolated as well, so travel is hard. Let me tell you this, their fan base is loud, L-O-U-D.
And of course, Boston winning 8 consecutive titles from 1959 to 1966. Doris, you think we'll ever see a streak like that again?
BA, I think that's almost impossible in this day and age. With free agency, with more salary cap restrictions, it's just hard to win 2 in a row these days, let alone 8. My goodness.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Allie LaForce.
Brian, last season, Jason Tatum surpassed 10,000 career points. He said, "It sounds crazy. I always think about when I was a kid growing up with my mom and saying I wanted to be in the NBA. I may have thought I would be one of the best players, but to actually do it is a surreal feeling." Brian, he's being honest.
Yeah, dreams do come true, Allie. Thank you.
Oh, that is impressive stuff from Derek White. Defender in his grill, no problem.
And so, Will Hardy calls for the timeout. Coach wants to speak to his guys, maybe alter some of the game plan.
Substitution on the
Jazz trail by 11. Here's George. Porzingis grabs the board. And so Holiday will bring it up for the Boston Celtics. They lead by 11, largest margin of the game. To the middle. Oh, it's blocked by Porzingis.
Porzingis 7-3 says not here and not now.
Clarkson outside. Out left to the wing. For 3, George. Boston pulls it in. Left side, White. To the paint. Here's Porzingis. Can't get it to fall. Jazz trail by 11. Pass to Clarkson. To the inside. Collins. Great D that time from Porzingis. Right side, Brown. Oh, and a dunk by Brown!
We've got to get this guy in the dunk contest. Jaylen Brown taking flight with that insane athleticism.
And it's going to be out of bounds with the Jazz retaining possession.
Great read to get a hand in there and disrupt the play.
And offensively, a little bit of a careless toss. You could have used a better angle on that pass.
first half. 2 minutes.
And Drew Holiday gets the whistle that time.
Holiday.
That's his first foul of the game.
Personal foul. 3rd team foul.
.156 left in the second period.
You know, that's a great example of how Porzingis can use his length to bother a shooter.
Inside. Oh, Porzingis getting it done inside.
And trust me, when the D's slow to react, he'll be the first guy to make them pay.
And that's typical of this guy. He's always reading the situation, reacting quickly, and capitalizing.
Boston on offense. They're on an 11-3 run. And when you talk about guards who can really attack in the lane, Jordan Clarkson is on that list, Doris.
BA, there are just certain guys who are comfortable operating in tight windows. Clarkson's mindset is score. He's got a great sense for where and when to pull up into his shot. He can burn you from three. Little bit streaky, but boy, he can really get on a hot streak.
Back to Tatum. Lets the three fly. Kessler with a rebound. Jazz trail by 13. Here's Collins. Oh, it's blocked by Porzingis. On the wing, Holiday. Back to Brown. White on the wing. Boston, no good that time either.
Almost too wide open there. That's like a warm-up jumper for him.
Kessler. And a foul called on the way up. So he'll take two from the free throw line. Kristaps Porzingis picks one up.
Heady play to stop that easy layup right there. I mean, make him earn it at the line.
He makes one or two that time. Oh, they get a hand on it. 2 seconds separating the shot clock and the game clock. And that one's good. Markkanen.
Get the ball and go to work. Markkanen using his size to great effect inside.
Back to Porzingis. Outside Tatum. From behind the arc. JT for three.
And just totally relentless. Only increasing the intensity level.
One thing I enjoy is watching players who don't pay attention to the score. You lock in on the moment and play the right way.
And so it's the Boston Celtics in a good situation, up by 13 points to close the quarter. How about the way they've attacked the paint? This throwback approach is paying off. We'll be right back after this word. And there wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will tighten up here in the second. From 15 feet away, Collier, no good. Celtics lead by 13. Doris, I'm going to give you three names here. John Stockton, Karl Malone, Pete Maravich. Which one is the greatest player to ever wear a Jazz uniform, you think?
I'm not going greatest player, BA. I'm going greatest tandem in the history of the Utah Jazz. John Stockton and Karl Malone in pick-and-roll play were poetry in motion. Such a pesky defender. Jaylen Brown, right place, right time.
Pass to Porzingis. There's Tatum with the three. Collins with the rebound.
And the defense got away with one there. I mean, that's a shot he typically makes.
Here's Kessler. Laid it in with a nice touch off the window. Kessler's got 7 points in the game.
Now, this is why people like to play with Mr. Markkanen. This guy is a solid passer out of that forward spot.
First team foul.
And a minute played as the second half gets going. Outside, Brown. To the inside. Outside, Holiday. Porzingis putting the size to work.
Well, 7'3" doesn't need much of a vertical, easy finish for KP.
And so Will Hardy calls for the timeout. We might see him looking to make some tweaks to the strategy here. Jazz trail by 13. Here's Sexton. Porzingis grabs the board. A moment to hear from Allie LaForce.
Hey, Brian. The Jazz are making progress. Coach Will Hardy said this team has shown grit and character and has developed a lot of confidence. When we're going through game preparations, the players walk away knowing if they do certain things, they can win. That's a big step in the right direction.
A bright future, Allie. Thank you. Brown with it. Picked up by Markkanen. And it's Tatum missing. Well, Doris, you watch Kristaps Porzingis at the defensive end. He changes a lot of shots.
There is no doubt, BA, at 7'2". It isn't just simply about sending shots back. It's about changing the trajectory. But I think as importantly, guys don't want to go in the lane because of his presence.
Just 5 on the clock. Here's Collins. Boston with a rebound.
That's a complete effort. Stuck with his man, gets his hand up, and then he doesn't hesitate to finish the possession with the rebounding job.
There's Tatum with the three. Pure from three-point range. Tatum's got 10.
Good goodness, Jason Tatum from another zip code.
I think he's gone completely dry. Nothing is hitting.
And this is where you hope that he can find something easy so he can see the ball go through the net.
Simple. The closer you are to the hoop, the better your chance to score.
Pass to Kessler. Here's Collier. Markkanen for three. And it's Cornette with a rebound. Celtics lead by 18. Here's Holiday. And the layup falls.
So that I can change. Remind myself to not complain.